Hi, welcome back. This is the third video of percentages concepts of common admission test as well as for other management entrance examinations. The third one I'm going to discuss a very interesting one. I'm going to discuss 6 questions. All the 6 questions are related to dishonest deals or errors in weights or errors in measurements. This is a very interesting topic. We come across a lot of questions. We come across a lot of situations where uh, the shopkeepers or the retail sellers, they sell at a very lower cost, significantly lower than the cost price. Still they make a lot of profit. And also we come across a situation where buyers want a lot of discount, yet they pay more than what they normally expect. The terminology used in these questions is quite simple and it is not complex. I strongly advise you not to make any error in your preparation. Let's go through some questions. And before we go through the 6 questions, I'm going to teach you a few important points here. Let's take now the investment. You must consider it. Investment, let's say that's rupees X, which is normally 100%. Then you need to consider the return also, and that is rupees Y, and that is also the 100% of the return. But do understand the investment is for the entire product. Let's say if I'm selling some 10 articles, sir, so the investment is on all the 10 articles. When the transaction takes place, let's say we are selling the each article again at X rupees, and only 8 articles are sold out. What happens to the remaining 2 articles? Are they unsold, or are we considering only 8 articles? As long as we have no information related to the remaining unsold articles, we are not we are not going to be in a position to judge whether we make profit or whether we make loss. And in fact, it would become very difficult for us to calculate the profit as well as loss percentage. So when there is a transaction taking place, do remember you would be able to calculate profit or loss percentage only after the entire goods is sold out. Yeah, let's solve question number 1. A shopkeeper uses a weight of 870 grams instead of 1000 grams and sells the article at the cost price. What is the profit percentage? Do you remember? The article is, the selling price is the same as its cost price, but instead of 1000 grams, the buyer gets only 870 grams, but the buyer has to pay an amount which is equal to 1000 grams. First, let's calculate what is the initial investment of seller. That's obviously for 1000 grams. You can take some amount, that is rupees X. In the other case, while selling, that is like the return for 870 grams, he gets the same rupees X. Now If the remaining 130 grams are unsold, then there is no profit and there is no loss here. But we are supposed to consider that the entire goods is sold out. So it means for 1000 grams, what is the return? It's quite simple. 1000 divided by 870 into X. That's quite simple. So the investment is X and we get a return in terms of some X. So quite a simple question. Let's solve another question. A trader uses a weight of 920 grams instead of 1 kg and sells the article at the market price, which is 15% above the cost price. Find the profit percentage. So this is 920 grams instead of 1 kg. And also the market price, which is 15% above cost price. Yeah, let's see. As usually, investment. That is for 1000 grams. Imagine that the investment is X rupees. And also while selling, it is exactly 15% extra. So it means the selling price is 1.15x. But what about the selling quantity? That is the most important one. Instead of 1000 grams, the shopkeeper gives only 920 grams. However, the buyer must pay for 1000 grams. So the return is quite simple. Return is for exactly 920 grams. That is 1.15x. So if 920 grams will fetch us 1.15x, then what about 1000 grams? That's quite simple. 1000 divided by 920 into 1.15. So 23, 25, that is 1.25x. So the investment is X rupees and return is 1.25x. That means 25% profit overall. Let's solve question number 3. A trader sells 20 kg of sugar at rupees 600. A customer bargained for 20% discount and the trader agrees to it, but instead of 1 kg, he gives 4% less sugar. How much effective discount does the customer get? A customer bargained for 20% discount. However, the seller gives 4% less sugar. Instead of 1 kg, it's 4% less. And we have got some more information, that is 20 kg sugar price is 600 rupees. We need to calculate the effective discount. Now question number 3. Now the investment of seller, that is for every 1000 grams, take that the investment is rupees X. Now since it is given in terms of amount also, that is 20 kgs, that is rupees 600 rupees, then you can say 1 kg, it's rupees 30. Since the customer bargained for a 20% discount, then it means the customer will have to pay exactly 80% of the original value, which we know that it's 30 rupees. Now So the 80% of 30 is going to be rupees 24. So the customer always thinks that I need to pay only 24 rupees to get 1 kg of the product, 1 kg sugar. But what really happens is, so the return is not 1 kg, that is 960 grams. For 960 grams, the customer pays 24 rupees. What about 1000 grams? That is 1000 divided by 960 into 24. So that is obviously 25 rupees. So the customer is paying 25 rupees, he is not paying 24 rupees. His initial estimation is that is getting 20% discount, but in fact he is not getting 20% discount. Now we know that the investment of the seller is 30 and is getting a return which is 25. So if 100% of the investment, if that is 30, what about 25? How much is 25? That's going to be 83.33%. The customer initially expected 20% discount, but is actually getting a discount which is less than 20%. In fact, that is equal to 16 2 by 3. Do you remember? Should we really use? Do observe it closely. Should we really consider per kilogram price here, which is given as 30 rupees? No, we need not. In fact, you can simply say 1 kg investment is rupees X. The normal thing is this is seller investment. What buyer thinks is like, buyer, he thinks like my investment for 1 kg is going to be 0.8x. But in fact, he's not getting 1 kg. He's getting 960 grams. He's paying 0.8x. Since we know that the investment of the seller per kg is rupees x, we need to calculate the return per kg only. So in such a case, 1000 grams return, that is going to be 0.833x. So obviously x is the investment, the return is 0.833x. Obviously it is 16 2 by 3% discount. It's not 20%. So we need not consider the actual value of per kg sugar. Just one additional information that people use it. We don't have to use it. Let's solve another question. A trader professes to sell an item 10% below the cost price, but gives only 800 grams for the first kilogram of the item and gives only 700 grams for every subsequent kilogram of the item. Very good. What is his overall gain percentage on selling 2 kgs of the item? So we need to find overall gain percentage. We should know his investment and we should know his total return. Let's consider there are 2 cases here. Well, as case number 1, now the investment for 1 kg, that is 1000 grams, is rupees X. That is the investment. However, the return is quite simple. He gives a discount, that is 10% discount. However, he gives only 800 grams instead of 1000 grams. It means for 800 grams the return is exactly 0.9x. And what would be the return for the total 1000 grams? That's 1000 divided by 800 into 0.9x. Quite simple. This is the total return. 4.5 by 4x. This is the return. Now we have another case. That is case number 2. Again here, investment, that is for 1000 grams, the investment is rupees X. However, the return again at a 10% discount should be 0.9x. However, is giving only 700 grams instead of 1000 grams and is selling at 0.9x. We need to calculate for 1000 grams. That's simple. 1000 divided by 700 into 0.9. So it means the total return is going to be 0.9x. 9 by 7x. So the total investment is x plus x. That is 2x is the investment. What is written? That is 4.5 by 4, that is 9 by 8x plus 9 by 7x. That is return. It's very easy to calculate now. If 2x is the investment, which is exactly 100% of the total investment, and then 9 by 8x plus 9 by 7x, that is the return. It's very easy to calculate. Since we know the investment and we know the return, it's just down to some simple calculations. Two cases, case number 1 and case number 2. In both the cases, the discount offered is equal. However, the amount, the quantity, exactly the quantity given to the customer is different. Let's solve question number 5. A trader uses a weighing balance that shows 1250 grams instead of 1000 grams. He further increases the selling price by 20%. What is the profit percentage? Like the balancing machine shows 1250 grams. If the machine shows that it is 1250 grams, customer will have to pay for 1250 grams. But actually it is 1000 grams. It means the customer is paying for 1250 grams but is getting only 1000 grams of the product. And also the selling price is 20% more. Let's say investment. So the investment of seller, that is for 1000 grams, we say that it is rupees X. Now the return is the most important one. There are two things are modified here. One, this is increased by 20%. It means it is now rupees 1.2x. And also this one is also improved, that is like the customer will have to pay for 1250 grams exactly. If 1000 grams will cost us 1.2x, how much will 1250 grams cost us? It's quite simple, that is 1250 divided by 1000 into 1.2x. That is exactly 1.5x. Check this one. The investment is x, whereas the return is 1.5x. Of course, I'm talking about the investment for 1000 grams and he's selling 1250 grams, means he has enough product. Yeah. So for the same 1000 grams, he's getting 1.5x. Two-way benefit for the seller. One, it is increase in the price. The second one is he's charging an amount which is way above, that is exactly 25% more, both cases. Or you can simply use product constancy also. Let's say the investment for a product like 1 kg, that is like 1 kg into the investment is, let's say, x, so the total investment is x. However, the customer has to pay for 1.25 kg, and also this is increased by 20%, that is 1.2x, that is 1.5x. You can simply multiply. Anyhow, it's a question, it's just a simple question. Let's solve the final question. A dishonest retailer cheats his wholesaler and customer both. He purchases 19% more from the wholesaler and sells 15% less while selling to its customer, to his customer. What is the profit percentage earned by the retailer by selling the goods at cost price? He's doing double tricks actually. He cheats a wholesaler. That is like he gets 19% extra. Instead of 1 kg, is getting 1.19 kgs, and also 15% less to the customer. Yeah, let's see. Investment, that is for 1000 grams, the investment is rupees x. In fact, he is getting 19% extra here. It means 1190 grams. The investment is same rupees x. Now, the return, you're selling it to the other person at the same cost price. However, that is 15% less. It means for 850 grams, he's charging rupees x. Since he has 1190 grams, we need to calculate the total return for the total quantity available. That is for 1190 grams. What could be the return? It's quite simple. 1190 divided by 850 into x. That is 1.4x. Look at this one. His investment is x, his return is 1.4x, that is 40% extra. Do remember, every single time when you are solving these questions, you need to remember three important points. One, you must know the total investment, the investment in terms of money as well as in terms of quantity. The second one, you should sell the entire product. The third important point is you should know the total return for the entire quantity. In the next video, there is the final video of the percentages topic. I'm going to teach you simple interest, compound interest, and also a bit of confusing question called equal monthly installments or equal annual installments or equal installments. Thank you.